production economy compensation. Part of the reason I have to write 5-day weekend is because people are still on this time and effort model. They still compensate on time and effort. People show up, they punch the clock or whatever. They don't have to do that anymore, but they just show up and they get paid regardless of what happens. And what happens is you take the risk as the business owner if you ever have a time that isn't working out. So if income, if revenues go down, guess who usually gets the first pay cut? The business owner on time and effort, because you still have all of this salary that you've got to handle. So we acquired a firm in 2014, I think it was, and everybody was on salary in that. That was really hard on our cash flow, and it's taken us a couple years to move that to production economy compensation. What I want to have happen is everyone understand how they personally contribute to the bottom line and compensate them for their contribution to the bottom line more than their time and effort. So there's certain things that it's a little bit harder to do that with. So maybe someone that is we call our front desk the director of first impressions. There's certain items that you can't like piecemeal and compensate for everything, so there's a base there. We have some writers that are doing content more than marketing writing. There's a certain base there. But we look for every place that and I kind of say it this way, we don't pay very well, but we bonus like mad. The people that make a big income here, they're not on salary. They get paid because they produce. We moved the marketing team that, hey, if it's production, they made more last year than the year before, but their salary got cut in a third, right? Because now they're really intimately familiar with whether something's working or not. They're connected to that. It's very much a reality, and I'm the same way. That's how my compensation is. There was a time where, Norm and I, we would pay ourselves $20,000 a month as a salary way back in the day, and we're like, now it's just like, okay, we get a salary that's required by Brett when he tells me what it's got to be, and then the rest of it I want in, commission, sales, bonuses. And one of the ways that you can figure this out if you're the business owner, this is kind of magical for me, is I'd have you set up a separate account and call it your war chest in your business. So we have your wealth capture account personally, but in business, call it your war chest. And here's a challenge I have for you. Anytime you do something in your business, when you go in and you solve a problem or you do something for someone else to help them out, you make sure to charge for those kind of things, because the business owner is the cheapest labor, because you have a love for your business, because you want to take care of everything, and now you have to swoop in and it's always reliant upon you. So I was like, okay, if I remember going to New York and speaking at this event, just an inner circle event, and then 6 people signed up for our program because that's all I could fit into the program at that time. I got paid nothing extra, and I missed my flight because I finished speaking, and then the main guy was like, hey, I'm a client, why don't you tell these guys about what you do? And I was like, flight or get 6 people in the program. So I chose 6 people in the program, but then I came home and it went to the black hole of the company. Companies have insatiable appetites. There's always something a company can find as a reason or excuse to utilize money. In 2007, Norm would have probably had a heart attack if he was working with us back in then. Because in 2007, I bought a new building, so I thought for sure we needed $40,000 of hang-down speakers, even though it's a financial firm. I thought for sure we might as well spend for the most expensive plants and the best we just spent so much money on that we don't even have that building anymore. So it was pretty much wasteful just because the money was sitting there. So I created a war chest, and in I think it was 2011 where I had an extra $250,000 show up in the war chest just because every time I did something, like sales, coaching, any of that, I got paid the highest, or who's the highest person in the firm that gets paid. I want at least equal to that so that they start finding a way to phase me out. And it's been good because it's phased me out of most of those activities.